I'm Telesha, also Tilly. I'm 40 years old and I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in 2019 and 2023 and I recently finished treatment.
So, we're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm friends with everybody, but no, we're actually friends.
Yeah.
We met each other when I was going through it, and we've been in each other's lives a lot. We go on holiday, and everything else like that. And it was shortly after we got back from our holiday that you were diagnosed with cancer for the second time and going through investigative work.
Yep.
You've spoken so much about your first diagnosis, and you shortly became someone who became an ambassador for us and everything else like that. This second diagnosis was so hard for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like being told that your cancer had returned?
It was very scary, especially because I had to advocate for myself quite a lot. So when I found a new lump, considering I already had a cancer diagnosis, and then when I found a new lump and I told my healthcare team, they fobbed me off quite a lot, and eventually they writ to my doctor and said for my peace of mind they'll do a scan and stuff, which did frustrate me because it shouldn't have been for my peace of mind. It's evident there was a lump there. And then we done all the work and it came back triple negative breast cancer again, and I was just like in a state of shock. I just start crying again in the room. Called you when I got home. It was just a lot, but thankfully I got through with lots of love, support, obviously my Black Women Rising family, and here I am.
You went through a lot of ups and downs, didn't you, in your treatment, because it wasn't straightforward. What was the hardest part about going through the treatment this time round? Because obviously we know about people's cancers coming back, being caught early, and perhaps not having to have treatment, so to speak, or the less invasive treatments, but you had to go through your whole treatment plan again. Yeah. How was that for you?
It was a lot. It was emotionally and physically draining. It was hard for me to put trust in my team when they constantly gave me reasons not to trust them. And then, I was constantly making life-changing decisions, which I'm not sure was the right choice. But you just have to just trust yourself in that moment.
Trust yourself.
And trust the people around you. But because there was a lot going on and lots of moving pieces, and it was hard to trust the advice that you was given. So, along the way I did go and get a second opinion. One of the doctors even told me that I had bowel cancer without even doing any scans or anything. That was quite traumatizing. And then, I went to my team and they're like, no, you haven't. They shouldn't have done that. So it's just been a lot.
You've been really fobbed off, haven't you?
Yeah. So,
if there was a example of a bad case of being managed by your healthcare team, you would be prime example.
Yeah,
it's disgraceful.
Yeah, it's been quite terrible. I don't really have much confidence in them anymore. In terms of the people that made the decisions, I've lost confidence in them because I also feel like they gambled with my life as well. So when I was on treatment and the treatment wasn't working, they carried on with treatment and moved on to a different drug, but didn't tell me that it wasn't working and led me to think that everything was fine. Then we got the progression and the cancer spread to my skin, and then we had to quickly get the breast off. It was all like an emergency, and the breast, by the time the end of it, the breast was huge, but it was constantly growing the whole time. So I didn't understand why, as soon as when I finished the IV chemo, I didn't understand why it was what's all this drama about now? Quickly get the breast off. So what it was, they just wanted to do their research and see how I would react to the drugs. When really they should have just treated me as a person and just put my health first and research afterwards. But thankfully...
I think one of the things here is that you were diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, and it's very tricky to treat, right? This is what people know. that it's a very tricky cancer. They say it's the most aggressive type of cancer. They also say, particularly, you know, like when I was in Ghana, you know, doing, you know, working with all those organisations and going to all the talks and stuff, you know, it's black women are more likely to be diagnosed with it, disproportionately diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, the most aggressive type of breast cancer as well. When you're constantly hearing this, as a person who has been diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, how does it make you feel?
It made me feel quite angry and frustrated that knowing all of this, what you have just said, knowing my history that I have had breast cancer before, and I'm presenting with a lump and signs of breast cancer, and you're ignoring me. I got fobbed off a couple of times. In the end,
you did, yeah.
I had to go through my doctor, and then the doctor referred me back to the breast clinic, and then the breast clinic said to me, "Oh, you should have come to us. You know you were on our..." I did come to you, but you didn't listen. So how does it make... It makes me feel very frustrated, and frustration is one of them, and it's quite scary, but
it is, yeah.
With the right support, having this big support network around me makes it a bit easier.
I think one of the things with the triple negative breast cancer, you've done lots of advocacy work before your second diagnosis. You've done so much advocacy work in it. One of the biggest things that obviously you girls, when we have interviewed you guys, because I wasn't diagnosed with triple negative, but you know, when we've held groups or held talks, is this consistent fear, living in fear that the cancer could come back. What is that like? Because I know that was the biggest hindrance in my healing journey after being diagnosed, and that was 8 years ago. For the first 5 years, every single day I thought about death. I didn't think I'd make it to 40. I did not. You know, I'm 39, thank God. But you know, I didn't think, you know, there was this belief system I had in my head that the cancer would come back. It was just constant all the time. And I think it is the case for most cancer patients once you've had it, because we do see examples of it. But I know for the girls that have had triple negative breast cancer, that can be quite prevalent. And you've also spoken a lot about that fear. What is that like?
It's like, if you don't get on top of it, it will take over. So you constantly have this fear of the recurrence. You constantly worry that it's going to come back. Then you have a word with yourself and tell yourself, no, it ain't. And then one day that fear becomes your reality, and then it does come back. And then you have to like navigate, go through treatment, and then...
And now?
Just now, for me personally, I just got to stay vigilant, because I don't trust, like, my tumours have never showed up on mammograms or anything like that. So it's been me advocating for myself. Yeah. So for me, I got to know my body, stay vigilant and stay on top. And if anything's not right, just keep on pushing till when I'm at a place where I feel satisfied. Because it's easy for them to shut doors. We got to make sure that we keep on kicking them down every time they close.
Amen. So, yeah. Do you think that you were like informed enough as well about recurrence? Because I think that's something that I mean, it's quite a frustrating topic for me to talk about. But was that something that, as a triple negative breast cancer patient, you wanted to hear? Was it that there could be this fear it could come back? Were you given that talk? Was there information there?
No, there was no talk. So for my first diagnosis, I never got discharged because of the side effects from the treatment. So they were still aware of me, but there was never like, it was more of, right, you finished treatment, you're better now, see you later, Bob's your uncle. And it was more like that sort of thing. And then I more knew about recurrence and more about triple negative from like speaking with people in the charity, like speaking with my sisters in Black Women Rising, is how I got to know a lot of what I know, not from my doctors. My doctors didn't tell me anything. A lot of the stuff I just had to learn on my own, and it is quite frustrating. Even now, I finished treatment like around 3 weeks ago, and it was just like, bye, see you in January. Like, so next steps and what, like surveillance and things like that, considering that I don't have any history or it's not genetic, the cancer. So just to be like, see you in 3 months, like that tells me I need to be on my A game to keep myself safe, because I don't have confidence in them that they will. So,
and I think you're someone who's like typical example of someone's like so benefited from the Black Women Rising program, because obviously Black Women Rising is around peer-to-peer support, right?
Yeah.
That's the heart of it, and everything else like that. What has that sisterhood, because I know you've got such an amazing sisterhood of women that are in your corner, what has that sisterhood meant for you?
It's meant everything. It's meant a lot, because first time around I was just getting to know Black Women Rising, and I was making like friends and peers and sisters. This time around I knew Black Women Rising, I knew most of the girls, and I had built good friendships. So this time around I just leaned on all of the girls, like I just said, look, my cancer's come back, and every decision that I had to make, I ran it through with at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, 10 of the girls. I just ran it through, like the girls that I knew that had mastectomies. Before my mastectomy, I spoke to them. What can I expect? Because no one told me what I can expect or anything like. So I spoke to the girls. What can I expect? What do I need? What do I need post surgery? Just like before every decision that I made, when it was like just basically every decision, there was somebody in the charity that had been there.
Yeah.
So I just leaned on you lot. That's what I did. So
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just leaned on like you lot and the girls, and obviously I love my family and stuff. But Tuesday, they haven't really been through it.
Yeah,
they can't give me the type of advice that I need, but they can encourage and support.
Absolutely.
So I knew that the girls could give me what I needed. So I was just like, just took advantage of their love and just got through.
And it's the love that you also give others, because you are so supportive and so loving to everybody, and we are so grateful for someone like you.
Oh,
and
thank you.
do you know what? So proud of you. I've seen your journey. I've seen everything you've had to go through in the last year, and to see you still smiling, still kept your hair through treatment as well. It's an amazing example of how cold capping does work for Black women. So I think you're amazing. Thank you, everybody. Telesha.
Thank you.